Hello and welcome back to Inquiry XX121. Per usual, I will be your host, Bryce. So one of the hallmarks of the Alien franchise is that collectively, the majority of the media tries to add something new to the world of Alien. You can see this in Alien 3 with the first appearance of a non-human host. You see this in Prometheus with the introduction of the engineers. You see this in Resurrection with the newborn. You see this in Prototype with the introduction of a xenomorph that has become symbiotic with the virus that was present in its host. And one of the more interesting cases of this is Blue Marsalis, the woman-turned xenomorph. And I don't mean she got implanted. I don't mean she got turned into an anathema like we see in Prometheus. I mean she got turned into a xenomorph. She maintained her personality and intelligence and so on and so forth. And I'll explain how that happened. So Blue Marsalis was a Weyland-Yutani scientist aboard the Cold Forge, first seen in the novel The Cold Forge. This was a research station in a remote part of space where they were researching the xenomorphs, XX121 species. Now, Blue Marsalis had a disease that caused her muscles to atrophy. So she had to work via a neural harness that she put over her head to control a synthetic to do her research. So she had a little bit of a side project while researching the xenomorphs that involved Plagarius praepotens. If you're not familiar with what Plagarius praepotens is, I recommend watching my video over what a facehugger actually does. I'll try to remember to link that down below. So the idea was because Plagarius praepotens caused rapid cell growth and change, she could find a way to utilize it to essentially reverse her muscle atrophy. So she was researching that on the side along with researching the aliens. When we next see Blue Marsalis, it's in Into Charybdis. And when she shows up, she is a little bit different because she, in a way, succeeded in her goal. So she caught wind that her current employers, after she worked with Weyland-Yutani, I believe it was with Seegson. I don't remember 100% off the top of my head, but I believe it was with Seegson Company. She caught wind that they were thinking about taking away essentially her life support. At this point, she was just... The only reason she was alive was a very complex system of life support between an artificial heart to pump her blood, artificial lungs, things of that nature. So she piloted the synthetic she was currently using to do research and injected herself with a modified sample of Plagarius praepotens. So it was modified in a rather unique way. She noticed that there were active and inactive genes in Plagarius praepotens that correlated to creating a queen or not. Now, this makes some amount of sense because, all the genetic material should be there, but only some facehuggers create a queen, so this could probably be deduced fairly reasonably. But she was able to modify Plagarius praepotens in such a way where it didn't create a queen inside of her, it turned her into one. And this originally kind of didn't sit well with me until I really thought about it, and I don't see a reason why you couldn't modify the genetic code in such a way to just slightly change its behavior. I've kind of come to terms with it. I don't really know how I feel about it. It is kind of cool. It's also kind of like, did the alien universe need that? But nonetheless, it's there, so we're talking about it. So Blue Marsalis had herself injected with this, mutated into a queen, where she maintained her intelligence, her thought patterns, but also got some of the xenomorph instincts, like their hunger, their need to feed, their need to reproduce. So she did start a hive. But she also was helping innocent people and trying to keep the xenomorphs out of the hands of other individuals that might use them for more harm. So it's kind of a unique case. I still don't quite know how I feel about it. Read The Cold Forge, read into Charybdis. Tell me what you think. I'll be doing a review over those books in the future where I'll talk a little bit more about my personal feelings on different things in the books. But The Cold Forge especially was a pretty good read. So yeah, that's how a woman got turned into a xenomorph. I'll note she could still communicate with people because she modified her body, attached a speaker to her head, and came up with a way where she could essentially type and have words broadcasted out. Tell me what you thought of this. Was this a good inclusion in the Alien universe? Was this just unnecessary? Was it better or worse than other variants you see in the comics? Like, was this better or worse than the newborn? Was this better or worse than the dog alien in Alien 3? Let me know what you think. I think it's one of the more unique cases of a xenomorph variant in the franchise. But that's what I have for you today.